Hey guys, it's Vic Bichette with Vic Bichette Investigations. It's been a while. Sorry about that, guys. Life has a way of, kind of taking you away from what you want to do. And my dream is to create these videos and talk about a lot of different things. But today I want to talk about something that keeps coming back almost every day from my YouTube page is how to become a private eye. And although the video did well, it was quite a while ago. And what I want to do is update that to be called "So You Want to Be a Private Eye." And the reason I want to do that is because I'm writing a little bit of a book about that. Um, and I also want to be able to say to everybody about the realities. There's just so many misconceptions about the life of a private investigator, and I think that as time goes on, people are getting even more confused by what a private investigator does. So, with my little book that I'm putting together called "So You Want to Be a Private Investigator," I'd like to take 2020 and talk about how to become a private investigator because, again, like I said, so many people contact me, ask me the same questions over and over. So, maybe I can answer them in this particular video. So, you want to be a private eye, right? So, the question is, what got you to the point that you want to be a private investigator? I can use my life experience. Listen, I had no experience. I had no police background, no military background. I've been one for 30 something years now. So I'm never going to be one to tell you that you have to have A, B, C, or D to become a private eye. I didn't, and I became pretty successful as a private investigator. So, getting beyond that, what's your reasoning? I have people, I don't know if they're goofing around. I don't know if they're playing a game, but they'll be like, I just watched Perry Mason and I want to be a PI, or I just watched Magnum and, whatever. I don't know if that's just ball busting. I have no idea. But if that's what you're thinking that the life of a private investigator is, you can forget that. If you think it's Magnum PI, forget that. If you think it's any of these CSI and all that crap that's on TV, forget that. So let's start out with the fact that you're very serious and you have a desire to be a private investigator, right? So here's the reality of being a private investigator. What do I do now? All right, what do I do? So that question gets asked to me all the time. How do I get started? How do I get going? First of all, here's what you have to do first. I don't know where you live. If you're an American, if you're a European, I have no idea what state you live in. I have no idea what city you live in. I have no idea what's going on. So, the first thing you have to do is find out what your laws and regulations are to become a private investigator. I'll give you an example in America. There's some states that have no requirement. You can just be a PI if you want to be a PI. There's some states like Massachusetts, Florida that are very strict, and you have to go to take courses, and develop yourself slowly to be different levels to become a PI. In Rhode Island, you have to have 5 years law enforcement or related experience. That was before my time. I got grandfathered in, obviously, because I did it way before that law passed. That's number one. So before you get off the ground, you start asking any questions, you start studying, you start doing anything, find out what your requirements are. In most cases, you're not going to get the opportunity to even be a PI based on the requirements of the state, so why waste your time and money? That's number one. Number two, now that you know your requirements of your state, what do I do? All right, so my requirements are, I'm not going to use examples because I don't know specific states, but let's just say your state requires that you go through this particular training program with the state, and you have to get your license and degree or whatever it is that it's at. You have to make that decision. Is this going to be worth it for me? Am I going to get a job as a PI? What if I get my PI license? This was a thing that I've always said to people that I struggled with early on in my career. I got very, very lucky. I have to tell you, I got very lucky. All right, let's bypass it all. You got your license in your hand. You did everything you wanted to do. You got your license. Now what? I think that's the biggest issue is now what? What do I do? All right, I got a PI license. I've done my training, but I haven't done a real PI case. I haven't worked for anybody. What do I do at this point? Well, you have to make decisions at this point. Do I want to work for insurance companies and do workers' comp investigations? Do I want to work for law firms like I did? I was a legal investigator, still am. What direction do you want to go? Well, the easiest direction to me is companies and insurance companies. If you want to get into, I never did that, so I'm telling you, I struggled in the beginning because I didn't go that route. It paid off at the end, but the reality is it didn't really help me in the beginning. Why do I say that? Because there's always PI businesses who do workers' comp or insurance work who need PIs. You don't have to have a lot of experience. You can break into the field pretty easy. There's companies all over the United States. I'm sure in Europe as well, that are looking for private investigators to work their insurance cases, their comp cases, etc. So that's probably a good way to start for most people, and kind of where I recommend you might want to start going. But if your goal, to me, was to work for law firms, well, you better be pretty skilled to work for a law firm, because if you think about it, you're going to knock on the door of XYZ legal services and say, hey, I'm a PI, brand new, and I want to do criminal investigative work. Well, you better understand criminal investigative work. You better understand their language. You better understand what's going on, because they're just going to ask you flat out, what experience do you have? A lawyer is not going to take on a brand new client generally, unless you have something to bring to the plate that they hear, speak the language, that they hear, that they believe in you, that you could actually do this. So for me, I took a lot of training courses in legal investigative work, mitigation, all types of work, surveillance, everything I needed to know. In my day, was reading a book. And today, the internet's sitting right there in front of you. You're watching one right now with me. It's a whole hell of a lot simpler today than it was in my day to educate yourself. And sometimes educating yourself means, in my case, was fake it till you make it. I'm being very serious about that. I learned stuff from books and videos, but I didn't have the practical experience. And I did go to the door and knock on the attorney's door and say, hey, listen, I can help you with your criminal cases, your personal injury cases, your domestic cases, whatever it is. They talked to me, and I knew enough of what I needed to say to get the gig. And then they started feeding me business, and my business grew, and eventually I had an office in the city and thriving in investigative work. So, with that said, the concept is you got your license. Where do you go for work? How do you get it? That's number two. And number three, let's say you want to do what I did. I worked under somebody else for years, doing a lot of domestic stuff. And once I've got my license, I wanted to branch on my own, like most people do. And now here's the problem with branching on your own. Not only do you have to have the skills, so we talked about number one, get your license. Number two, what area do you want to practice? Number three, you got a license. You're Sam Spade, and you opened you got a little building down the street with a nice little thing on Main Street, and you open your doors. How do I get customers? To me, that is the biggest and most important part of everything. And in my first video, want to be a private eye, or how to become a private eye, I wasn't adept at marketing like I am today. So I'll give you an example. I'm not only a PI, I own a marketing agency. I own Video Marketing Strategies and Social Media Experts. These are my companies. That has changed everything for me. Now, I don't do a lot of PI work anymore. I'm semi-retired. I'm 57 years old. I like my marketing business. But my advice to anybody who's trying to branch off on their own, how do you get cases? How do you get clients? How do I get out there in the real world and be able to market my services when I don't have a budget, I don't have a lot of money, I don't have partners, I don't have connections? So that's the third and final phase of either making you want to do this. Do you really want to do this? I just explained how difficult it is to get where you need to go. And the final nail in the coffin is, what do you do when you got your license and you have an idea where you want to go? Or you want to open your agency? How do you do it? So that's really the trick to everything. And I'm going to go into videos. I have some videos about marketing, but I'm going to spend a lot of time and a lot of effort explaining marketing to private investigators, because at the end of the day, like any business, every one of my clients, I have a diversified group of clients that are my marketing clients. They all need to be on social media, but they all need to understand how to do it right. And that's really the biggest issue, is understanding what to do and stuff. Because you can find out someone's got a Facebook page, and all you have to do, if you have a Facebook page, let's use Facebook as an example. It gets 8 billion video views a day. It's the most popular platform on the planet still to this day. YouTube is huge too for me. It's owned by Google, big time. But we're going to focus on Facebook for a second. All you have to do is look at your post and look at how many people it went to and what your engagement was. It's pretty simple. It's right there in front of your face. If you're not reaching a lot of audience and you're not getting engagement, you're not getting seen. Nobody knows who you are. Nobody knows what the hell you're talking about. And nobody sees you and nobody finds you. So, again, the old days you'd be on television. The old days you'd be on radio. I made my bones on radio ads. Today it's a different ball game. It's more complicated in many ways because it's not just putting something on social media that you think might work. It's an understanding of what needs to be on social media, when to post it, what type of post to do, what to put in the descriptions, what to put in the headers. All that stuff is vitally important. So anyway, I'm running in 11 minutes. This is Vic Pichette with Vic Pichette Investigations and Video Marketing Strategies, Social Media Experts. Please comment, ask me questions. A lot of you ask me questions every single day. I hope I answered some with this particular video to get started. Get you started. It gets you thinking. It gets you thinking that it's important to say to yourself, you know what? What this guy just told me, which I know is the truth, I don't want to go that route. And that's good. And if you watch this video and you said to yourself, hey, look, the guy told me how difficult it is, and we haven't even scratched the surface yet, and I'm still going to do it anyway, awesome, kudos to you, and I'll be here for you, and let me know what you're thinking. Respond to my videos, like and share my content, please, please, please. Not only like and share my content, but please subscribe, hit the button so you get the videos sent to you guys first. This page has grown immensely, and I'm very proud of it. But I need your help, and in return, you get something from me. So I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.